Good morning, Pulp Bites, and welcome to another amazing week of Pulp Picks. I'm Corey.
I'm Fritz.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Patrick.
And Sarah can start us off today.
Right. So I picked I Hate Fairyland #1. If you haven't read the precursor to this, I know we have the trades. It's so good. It's so good. I think I've said this a million times on these videos by now, but Scotty Young, I love Scotty Young. He is the story writer for this one. But essentially it's about this lovely individual named Gert, who appears on the cover here. And in the precursor, she, as a child, went to Fairyland. And then subsequently got stuck in Fairyland for like 40 years. And she's like this 40-year-old woman stuck in this child's body trying to get out of Fairyland and get back home. So we meet Gert. She's an adult now, actually back in, like the real world. Can't hold down a job. Like, as she describes herself, she's not cut out for anything in the known universe. All she knows how to do basically is take out Fairyland creatures. Basically, I mean, that's what she's good at, because that's what she did for 40 years of her life. And so it's just kind of her journey now being back in the real world and what's going to happen to her from there. And I don't want to spoil the ending, but I'm very excited to see where it goes from here. I loved the precursor to it, so I'm excited to see where it goes. You could tell I like it because I'm nerding out about it. But I think I bought like 4 copies of the differing variants of this book. So it's a really solid read. And like I said, if you haven't read the precursors, it's a really good jumping on point. But we also have the trades in stock. But highly recommend.
You might have to fight me for them. I want to read them now.
Also, if you want any of the variants, stop in before she buys the rest of them.
But it looks like it's kind of like a kid's book when you first look at some of this stuff, but it is not at all. So highly recommend, especially if you like violent things, I guess. Fritz, what did you pick this week?
Speaking of image books that are written and drawn by one person, also have a fair amount of violence in them, I picked the new series
Scotty didn't draw
Chroma.
that.
No, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't draw
Scotty
that?
doesn't draw that. He's just a writer on it.
Yeah.
Well, anyways.
He did the cover.
Give me your nerd card.
Whatever. Chroma. It's great. New series. This is like kind of like post-apocalyptical future. There's like, it's called the Pale City. They don't have any color in there. All the colors outside. Color's dangerous, apparently. They got giant lizards walking around. They'll eat you if they like smell color on you. It sounds like I'm saying like crazy stuff, but trust me, it's great. There's this kid. He's like kind of like discovering that like, oh, maybe this world we live in is not as great as I thought it was, and it's. I don't know, the art is great, the writing's great, the ending I legit did not see coming. So I'm very curious to see where they go with it from here. Just a really good, strong start for a first issue. Loving it so far. Over to you, Patrick.
Yeah, so I picked She-Hulk #8, and this is a departure issue. So we had these 2 characters show up at the beginning of this new She-Hulk run, and they were gamma mutated is kind of the assumption. One is kind of hulked out, the other one is kind of leadered, I don't know, big head kind of thing. Mark and April. And Mark is speaking in nursery rhymes, and you just really don't know what's going on. And they kind of show up a couple times, right, in the run. Yeah. They keep recurring. This issue is solely about them. It is exactly how they got to being in the She-Hulk story arc. It's their origin story kind of thing. And it was really interesting. Everybody was mocking me because She-Hulk isn't in this book, or not everybody. Corey was mocking me.
I was like, yeah,
because
wow,
She-Hulk
right.
is, he's like, really? You're going to pick She-Hulk? She wasn't even in that issue.
Throw the
After I'm gone, this is the role
Yeah,
you guys are going to
I guess.
She's,
You have to keep Patrick in line.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Make fun of the guy who cuts your checks. That's always a good idea. So, but She literally is just a picture pinned on a wall at one point, right? That's the extent to which She-Hulk is in this book. But I love it when writers create new characters and they're not just throwaway characters, when they've got some depth, when you get to learn about them, when their origin is something that is, yes, fantastical and beyond being something that could happen in the real world. You know, how they become who they are is not at all realistic, but there's that human element to it that makes it really interesting. And so now they're characters that you can relate with and empathize with, and so now I would assume that we're going to see something probably terrible happen to him, would be my guess. But we're going to, this book has kept me guessing all along, and every single issue about this has been more about interpersonal dynamics than it has about smashing things. And honestly, I think that is what has made it so interesting. That and the art and the, just the vibrance of it, the colors and everything have been so great in this book. But this was a really interesting human backstory, departure book that I really enjoyed. So, Corey, what did you choose this week? What did you finally land on this week?
I chose Nightwing number 98. If you haven't been reading this is really good. Tom Taylor is just a fantastic writer. He's also doing Dark Knights of Steel, Deceased, War of the Undead Gods. He's done a ton of stuff. So this book has been great. And there's a new fifth dimensional being that shows up in this one. So it's pretty funny. But the art's a lot of fun. The story's been great. This is kind of like right in the middle of the story arc, but it's still a fun read.
I'm pretty sure we've got some back issues.
We should have some more recent issues. So if you haven't been checking this out, this is fantastic. And as always, Tom Taylor is just a fantastic writer and storyteller. So you should be able to jump right in, no problem. But yeah, I think that's all we have time for today. Short and sweet, to the point. Make sure you follow us on social media at PulpCG on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And stop in at 11 a.m. and pick up your books and tell us what you're really excited for this week. And yeah. Anything else? No? All right. Goodbye.
You all miss us, don't even. I'll take it.